Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Rudy RTG here on NCAA 2014, and also featuring that college football revamp as well. So I'm really excited about this particular episode. I hope you guys are also excited about that episode as well. If you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel as we open things up here. FCS opponent, and a cool thing about this college football revamp game, I have the newest version of college football revamp, is that you could really, when you're playing an FCS team, you don't have to play like the default FCS Midwest. Like if you go to their uniform options, like you could see like actual FCS teams like Drake or Southeast Missouri State. We also have like North Dakota State, North Dakota, etc., etc. So I'm really excited about this episode. We're going through non-conference action here. Got an FCS opponent first, and then we will be taking on a team that is also at the FBS level as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you do, make sure to go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button for me as well if you do happen to be brand new. And let's see how we can make things shake on the field as we go through Rudy Rudiger's first year as a starter on this Northern Illinois squad.
Alright boys, so we come out onto the field here to begin our first offensive drive, and this Drake team that came to our campus, well, let's just say they're going to look for a little bit more than simply just a paycheck, right? Because Drake, well, they're actually going to be the first ones to actually score in this game. They actually take a 10-0 lead against us, and we're just trying to look to make some kind of spark happen. Hopefully that's what we're looking for, as Rudy Rudiger, he's going to get his first tackle, and it's a TFL against Vincent Holmes, just doing an absolutely beautiful job of shooting that gap. But you know, that lack of athleticism that Rudy has, well, it does show a little bit here on this particular run. We kind of read that Wildcat pretty well. We were coming in behind him, but we just couldn't catch up to him from behind. It's been pretty brutal out here, though. But we do end up getting yet another TFL on Darnell McNeil, forcing them to go ahead and punt this ball away. But here we are late in the fourth quarter. Our offense did not show up the same way that it did against Wyoming. They only scored 14 points in this game. Thankfully, we were able to keep them out of the end zones, got the third down stop, but they will get the field goal up. It's going to be good, but we actually get a little bit of a studio update because we were watching that field goal go and happen. How about this for an upset as well? Vanderbilt, early in the season, their first game, they actually beat Alabama 35-24. Hopefully the same doesn't happen to us. So here we are, last drive of the game. We're going to go ahead and watch this final offensive drive, because no matter what we do on the defensive end, if our guys on offense don't do the job, we're going to lose this game. But thankfully on a 4th and goal, we're able to get to the outside to William Merriman, and that's going to give us the lead. They'll also go for the 2-point conversion, trying to give us a little bit more cushion for the pushing, just in case Drake is able to hit on a couple of deep balls towards the end of this game. So we know our job. They got 2 timeouts left to work with. Keep them out of the end zone, as that could have been caught for a first down. That was our guy. We got pretty fortunate there that it didn't get a good chunk right there. But you already know what time it is. We're just going to back up as much as possible. No one's going to get behind me, and I was in position to try to make an interception. Bigger guys did end up getting in the way, but man, did we dodge a massive bullet. We came in with some hype too to begin this season, right? We started off in the top 25. We're number 13. Could you imagine what would have happened if we would have actually lost this game? That was a very dangerous scenario that we did have to deal with, right? But able to escape with the win. Thankfully, we will get to 2-0 on the season, but didn't play that good of a game today. We did get a couple of tackles in there. Both of them were behind the line of scrimmage, but compared to what we did in that first game of the season, to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed with how we played. But that being said, we do have another game in this episode. This is actually going to wrap up our non-conference play, because In the MAC conference, we actually do play 9 conference games. So our last conference game is, our non-conference action is going to be up against Louisiana Tech. They are going to make the trip up north to take on your little Northern Illinois Huskies. And then Louisiana Tech's a nice little squad too. They're 2-0 as well. This could go for a touchdown. Rudy's got a beat on it. Can't bring him down though. The tackling not on point. Thankfully, we do slow him down enough for another guy to catch up to him, but that does end up being a 62-yard reception. And Rudy, this was, I thought that first game was a little bit disappointing. That second game felt like it was a little bit worse than that. I mean, we had the angle, just we weren't big enough, we weren't fast enough. And that's just the thing. We don't have a naturally gifted athlete, like some of the counterparts that we go up against on a week-to-week basis. So if we're going to have a really successful season this year, we're going to have to do it with anticipation. We're going to have to really make this a thinking man's game because, if we don't, then, it's going to be a long year for us, and coach might be looking to bench us, right? But we got a tackle there, able to stop him from getting any more yards. But McGarrow is going to pick up a huge interception. I try to convoy for him, but Cyrus McGarrow does get caught from behind though. And now we're starting to see our offense wake up, which absolutely confuses me. We put up a ton of points against Wyoming. Looks like we're in the process of starting to put up a lot of points up against Louisiana Tech. Why couldn't they do this against the FCS team? Why couldn't they do this against Drake? I didn't know if they put together a good rap song real quick or not, but yeah, man, we got another tackle in there, thankfully, as we're trying to anticipate when the snap is going to be. We actually timed it really perfectly. Josh Hoover had to get rid of that ball extremely early because if not, man, we would have had our first sack of our college career. And we also do a really beautiful job as well sealing the outside. They didn't have an answer for us. He did try to break it back in because we already had that inside help, but we had him lined up. I was going to line him up like a Christmas tree, but Nick Ross, he's going to just run right past me. A little bit embarrassing. I'm not an athlete. And we almost had the pitch. We would have intercepted that pitch too, but I hit the wrong button. Instead of hitting triangle, I hit square by accident. That's a massive L. We're just embarrassing ourselves. There's some college football YouTubers that say that they have the worst user, but name a worse defensive user than me. Like, I know what I'm doing on the offensive side of the ball, right? Like, I know my P's and Q's. I can put up a lot of points in a hurry, but on the defensive side of the ball, that's a little bit different of a story, and that's why I typically play on that defensive line. Not as much that I gotta, a lot of mobility that I gotta deal with, right? But they're down the goal line here. We're trying to prevent the touchdown, but Cyrus Allen gets behind us. And Louisiana Tech, they do end up scoring yet again, really turning into a little bit of a shootout here. It was 35-17 at the end of the half. But we jump into that second half of action, and that's nearly intercepted. I was expecting a straight up go pattern for the 4 verticals. It actually turned into a corner route. Thankfully, they didn't make anything crazy happen with that throw, and we had that extra help. And a couple plays later, we actually do get yet another turnover force. So that's going to help us build this lead yet again. Extends it out to a 52-17 lead. We're playing pretty good football as, again, another, we just went to the wrong person in the zone. We went towards the corner pattern because usually this quarterback, I've noticed he does like to go to the, his flats and his checkdowns quite often, but we get a beat on Hoover here, and Josh Hoover stiff arms us to the ground. Just, we got to hit that weight room a little bit more than that, but late in the game, less than 5 minutes left. It's 24-59, and I had a chance to stop him here on this 4th down, but I just completely miss yet again. This is a bad day. It's a bad day at the office, but it looks like we're going to win this game. Backup quarterback even comes in, so Louisiana Tech, they did decide to give up. Again, just trying not to give up too many big plays downfield. And again, it's not a good performance for us. It's not as good as what we did in that Wyoming game that we had in the previous episode. But hey, this offense showed up yet again. They put up a lot of points for us. We end up winning big, 59-24. That actually does end up being your final score in this game, and we do get the 3-0 on the season at least. But here's our stats for the game, though. Really didn't do anything too crazy in this one. We only ended up with a couple of tackles and really didn't do anything else, to be honest. So while we didn't necessarily turn in the best individual performance, we did at the very least win our next couple of games. So we do finish non-conference season perfectly as we end up going 3-0. And now we go into that little engine that could Mac Shins. We will see if we can remain undefeated, but more importantly, can Rudy Rudiger bounce back? Because after that first game where he seemed to have took over that game, he only combined for 4 tackles in those next couple of games. So can he bounce back? Can he play a lot better? We'll find out in the next episode as we'll start MAC action, starting with Miami, and maybe we'll get another game or two in there as well. But hope you enjoyed this episode nonetheless, and if you did, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button for me, hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new, and also feel free to give me some feedback down in the comment section as well, because this is the first time in a long time that I did a Road to Glory, and this is also something that, you know, that we're not accustomed to here on the channel, but I want to be like a peacock and spread my wings here. So hopefully y'all been enjoying this series. And with that, this is John J. Gaming on the mic signing off. Hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.